and gentlemen, this is the Roast Battle Weekly League podcast, Roast Battle League Weekly podcast, Tokyo International Comedy Festival Roast Fest 2024. We've had an amazing weekend, and we're going to cap it all off with a live recording of the podcast of record. This is the commissioner of Roast Battle, Roast Dad himself, Pat Parker, everybody.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to RBL Weekly Live, one of our only live episodes ever. Was the microphone not on for the beginning there? Okay, we'll cut this in post. Good to see everybody. How we feeling tonight? Make some noise. This is, for me personally, the fifth and final show of the Tokyo Roast Fest. It's my fourth show in the last 24 hours. We've done stand-up, we've judged battles, we've battled ourselves, writers' workshops, and now a live podcast. It's been an incredible week. I did Roast Fest last year, and it was amazing, and it's gotten even better this year. The battlers in Tokyo have really stepped it up, and I'm excited to do this live podcast because this is the scene here and the community has really been building, and this is exciting for me. What we're going to be doing here is going to be a little bit different than what we normally do. Of course, you'll notice I am no longer flanked by a cool black guy, which is going to make things more difficult. Absolutely. Brian Moses back in Los Angeles. I'm flying solo on this one, but not totally because I have a bunch of friends here to help me out. We're going to have some special guests, people coming up who have battled over the weekend and experienced some of the things that we're going to talk about. We're going to do some quick little interviews. We're going to watch the battles. We're going to do the top four in the room like we always do. We're going to react. We're going to do all that. We also have some fun live elements. You guys will notice at your seats here, you have RBL Weekly bingo cards, okay? And what that is there are 25 squares, or actually, I forgot one. So there's a blank square, that's a free square. Fill that out right now. The rest of them will be filled out shortly, I promise you, because they say things like pedophile joke, Trump reference, a joke bombs, fat joke, slut joke, etc., etc. I promise you, you'll be filling up those bingo cards soon. The first person to get bingo, don't yell it out and interrupt the podcast. You could just kind of put your hand up, and the first person to get it gets either a free beer or a free T-shirt. That's what we did last year. We're doing that again? Authorized by the man himself, JJ Walkrat, one of the geniuses behind Roast Battle Tokyo. Give it up for JJ. He's really put together a very cool scene here, and I'm excited to watch some of the battles and talk to some of the battlers. So without further ado, let's jump into it and start the show today with our number 7 battle, and this comes to us from Atlanta. It's been a rough season for Atlanta, still in the single digits in points in the American East Division, but they land on the countdown today for a very fun battle. It's number 7 this week. It's Patrick O'Malley versus Jacob Chalk. Here it is.
Patrick O'Malley, Jacob Chalk, let's roast!
Let's go. Hello, everybody. Guys, Jacob is an autistic rock climber. He got into it because he loves eating rocks, all right? And he says the ones at the top taste the best.
They do. Also, I collect them. They're in my car. Anyway, glad to be here roasting Eastbound and Down Syndrome. Yeah, you don't look like Danny McBride. You look like a twink version of Danny McBride. You look like Danny McFuck's guys.
Yeah, I'm a top, though. But thank you, Jack-Off Skellington. Guys, Jacob's father is a lot like his eye contact skills, absent. And his... Well, hold on. And his mother...
Yeah, get them both, yeah.
And his mother is an addict who gave birth to a train-loving autistic man, so I guess track marks run in the family. Okay.
Hey, baby, you know, that's family. You know, what are you going to do? All right? Glad to be here roasting Magnum UTI. Here's the thing is that we both have dysfunctional families because Pat's mom left his dad for his scoutmaster. Yeah, that's true. So while Patrick was learning the tying knots badge, his scoutmaster was learning the fucking your mom badge.
All right, thank you, Geico Caveman's offspring. Jacob, if you're here, then who's sniffing your ex-girlfriend's clothes?
Me later.
Dude, Jacob Chalk, more like Jacob Stalk. Dude, seriously, give her house key back.
Patrick, you look like you refuse to eat pussy unless it comes with a PBR shot combo. You look like molester Stallone. All right, there you go.
Combo's $8 on Thursdays, all right? That's all I'm saying. Guys, Jacob likes to tell people that his mom was abusive, but he doesn't like to tell them that when he was born, he was 2 feet tall. I'm on her side, okay? Because if I gave birth to a baby the size of a 3rd grader, I'd hit it too, all right?
That's just a compliment. I've been destroying pussy since I was born, baby. All right? That's literally, you walked me into that one, baby. I would say that I hope you take these jokes on the chin, but you don't have one. The only one in your family taking it on the chin is your mother.
Last joke.
Thank you, Jacob. I do not have a chin. That's because you stole it and put it on your brow. Oh, nice. All right, guys. All right.
You're laughing at your own joke.
Yeah, they're laughing too, so I don't know. Let's see. Jacob likes to call himself hot-tistic, which is shorthand for hot and autistic. But I'd just like to call him ugtarded. Short for ugly and...
No, yeah, my autism didn't let me connect that. Thank you. Thank you, Roofie Balboa. You look like a naked mole rat cosplaying Bob's Burgers.
Miss.
That was also a miss. That was, you thought that would do better, and I know you do, because you've done that so many times.
Give it up for that roast! All right!
All right, there it was. That was the number 7 battle this week from Atlanta. Patrick O'Malley versus Jacob Chalk. Great work there. Hopefully Atlanta can finish the season strong. They're not going to make a run for the playoffs, obviously, with New York in their division. But you want to finish the season strong and come back even better next year. So that's what we're looking for out of Atlanta. Now we're going to move to number 6, and this battle features someone who has started strong, ended strong. Basically, her entire RBL run has been strong. I'm talking about the reigning and defending MVP and possible repeat MVP, Shota Kurup. Now, Shota, one of the most successful battlers in the history of the league, 21-3 record. This is her 12th appearance on the podcast. London desperately trying to catch up to Manchester in the International East. And you got to think you have a Shota Kurup battle that's a guaranteed top 3. Not this week. She comes in at number 6, so she picks up 2 points for London, which is nice, but you got to think maybe they were holding out hope for more. She went against a guy that I have not seen on the podcast before, so I'm excited to check it out. It's the number 6 battle this week, Shota Kurup versus Charlie Joyce. Here it is.
All right, everyone. This is Shota, or as she is known on her dating profiles, Pedophilia for Cowards. I say dating profile, it's more of a sex trafficker's catalogue.
Here with the accent and sausage fingers of the king, this is Charlie Joyce. Charlie's mum grew up poor. Yuck. But his dad grew up rich. His dad is so posh, he always comments on a limp handshake when Charlie's wanking him off. So...
Shota is Indian, or I hope she is, or that accent is very racist. I'm not really so much worried about the jokes tonight. I'm more worried that this roast is going to be recorded for training and monitoring purposes.
This advert for hair transplant is Charlie Joyce. Charlie says he's out of shape. What shape? If you think it's difficult to push a square peg through a round hole, try pushing Charlie Joyce through a tire swing.
Despite looking like Dobby the house elf in a chemotherapy wig, Shota does have a boyfriend. She's got a boyfriend from Sheffield. And if you're wondering how this this Indian girl fell for a man from an industrial town in the north, I think their eyes just met across a crowded race riot. All right, fair enough.
It's great that you could take time off of wanking at Thatcher's grave to be here. Charlie grew up in the same place as Alan Turing. Turing cracked a code called Enigma, and Charlie Joyce cracked his rectum with an enema. So, potato, potato.
I've got to say, sorry. No, I heard that before. That's fine. I have to say we're all very lucky that Shalaka's here tonight, because I have to say this woman is in demand from comedy promoters, from paedophile hunters wanting to use her as bait, and she even has a PhD in trains, which is, I think, more of an honorary title. It's more what they give you when you fall off the end of the autistic spectrum.
Despite looking like he struggles to speak to women as much as he struggles to zip up a gilet, Charlie has had a girlfriend. This girlfriend actually kicked him in the balls twice. Yeah, what a way to kill two stones with one bird.
Shalaka often dresses sort of like a South Asian Karen, sort of a Quran, if you will. It's like with the glasses, it's like if Gandhi didn't bother with the hunger strikes and just demanded to see the manager.
This boarding school bum boy is Charlie Joyce. Charlie actually used to play rugby. Do you know that rugby players are 15 times more likely to have brain damage? But luckily for Charlie, the only brain damage he had was from the coat hanger scraping his head, so...
So there it was, the number 6 battle of the week. Shalaka Kurup going up against Charlie Joyce. London picks up a couple of points. The battle, quite good. I'll tell you what is also quite good. Baird Brewing, the official sponsor of Roast Fest. I've been drinking these almost nonstop for the entire time I've been here. I've blacked out several times. I wish that was a lie. It's been a hell of a week. But this is the Hells. This is my personal favorite. The Amber Ale, also very good. IPAs, keep them out of my face. Not a fan. But let's keep it moving right now with the number 5 battle this week. And Shalaka Kurup, we just mentioned, that is her 12th appearance on RBL Weekly across 2 seasons, which is more than anybody else in the league. The guy in second on that list is the guy who lost to her in the championship semifinals last year, Scotland's Ryan Cullen. And a lot of times where Shalaka is, Ryan is not far behind. This is no exception. Ryan Cullen clocking in with the number 5 battle this week. Now, this is an interesting one for RBL points because Ryan... Scotland is going to be in the playoffs at this point, pretty much regardless. I think it's going to be really tough for anyone to catch them. But the question is going to be, who is going to be their MVP? Who's going to represent them in the championship? All season, it's looked like Jack Trainers to lose. Ryan Cullen is making a late push for the second consecutive Scotland MVP and the chance to go back and redeem himself after coming in 4th last year. He takes one step closer today with the number 5 battle. This is Ryan Cullen versus William Thompson. Here it is.
I'll go first. Willie looks like he's only 26% through his transformation into a piglet. Yeah. William is a dirty, dirty Protestant. Yeah, he puts the Hun in Hungry, Hungry Jippo. Yeah. Willie has cerebral palsy, which is a horrific genetic disease that only affects fucking retards.
Thank you. Ryan looks like the lead singer of a non-binary rock band. R.E. them. It's really nice to be up here roasting the spirit of one of the babies from Lucy Letby's ward. That's really nice. Oh, that's too far? Suck my disabled dick. Suck it. Ryan looks like if the lead singer of Faithless never actually got any sleep.
Okay. Where am I? Oh, yes. I'm glad you took some time to come on this roast instead of representing Great Britain in basketball at the Paralympics because, you know, you're such a natural dribbler. Yeah, Willie loves singing God Save the King, but only because all the horses and all his men put him back together again. Yeah, Humpty Numpty. Willie, I can't describe it, but you look like you cum jelly beans. Which is in turn affecting your weight.
Very good.
Fat.
Yeah. If everyone can notice, Ryan has a lump in his jaw. Do you want to show the people? That's actually not Daniel Sloss's cock. That is...
It wouldn't show.
That's actually a tumor. And Ryan is the only person I know who could get a tumor, and it's the least cancer-looking thing about him.
Willie looks like he pinches his nose before trying to suck his own cock. Yeah. William fell off a bonfire, and I presume that's why you look slightly squished at all times.
I've known Ryan for 10 years, and every time I see him, he wears the same set of clothes. Honestly, usually you have to go onto Katie Price's Twitter to see that amount of shit on a bald cunt.
Yes! William suffers badly from seizures, not from his epilepsy, but the PSNI keep raiding his computers almost weekly. William is Protestant and cerebral palsy, which shows which side God's really on. Yeah. In a couple of years, William's body will be as crumpled as Paul Walker's corpse. Yeah. In a few years, if you wanted to crucify you, Willie, you'd have to nail you to a fucking swastika.
Thank you, ancient one. Ryan actually had 3 girlfriends leave him by traveling to different countries. You're like a reverse sex trafficker. Women smuggle themselves across borders to avoid fucking you.
Oh, great. In primary school, William was known as the Undertaker because he would roll his eyes in the back of his head, usually when he's getting ploughed by the vice principal. A teacher once thought William had anorexia. I was like, what did they teach? Banter?
Thanks for that, Jew-man group. My mum actually passed away from cancer 10 years ago, and she still looks better than Ryan. That's the sad part of the show.
Yeah. Deserved, in my opinion. Yeah, sorry, I'm done, by the way.
Let's have a Ryan Williams!
So there it was, the number 5 battle this week. What'd you think of that one, guys? Was that great or what? One person hated it. We did not watch it. But very supportive live audience. We appreciate you guys. They are chomping at the bit to start filling out their bingo cards, to hear racist jokes, to hear homophobic jokes, to hear the shit that we're all here for. Exactly. So without further ado, let's just keep it moving right now. And here's where we get to the fun stuff. The top 4 battles of the week. And I'm going to bring in some very special guests to talk. Now, the first guest I'm going to bring in, I want to set this up a little bit. It's been an incredible weekend at Roast Fest. I've had a great time. And last night was the LA, or US, I suppose, versus Tokyo grand finale of battles. And the final battle last night was the Tokyo Roast Battle champion, Jay Yamaki. You've seen him on this podcast before. He's one of the best in the world, going up against me. It was a great battle. For like 90% of it. I made a decision. I went for something on my last joke. I took a big swing. And folks in Tokyo are calling it the worst bomb in the history of not only roast battle, but comedy in general. Yeah, you guys can clap for that. I've heard you say it. I managed to not only bomb, but personally offend the entirety of the Japanese comedy community. It is really mind-boggling to me, the reaction and response it's gotten. People have told me, and I'm not lying, that the joke physically hurt them. They literally felt physical pain watching me tell this joke. So we're going to break it down because here's my perspective on it, and we'll get into it more in a minute. I thought I killed it. I thought I was great. Now, it didn't work out exactly how I'd hoped, but I think the reaction has been a bit much. People are very, very upset, and they're going out of their way. We're not even talking about it, and they're like, I just have to remind you how terribly that went last night. It has been a theme of the last, thank you, the last 24 hours is everybody reminding me how I ruined their lives last night, and I want to get to the bottom of it. Now, the joke, conceptually, I'll explain in a minute. I will say there was some speaking of Japanese or attempted speaking of Japanese involved, and I elicited the help of a Japanese battler who's going to come up here along with my opponent from last night, and I want to talk to them and figure out what went wrong and frankly convince them that I actually crushed. So without further ado, let's bring up the Tokyo Roast Battle champion Jay Yamaki and Shota Saimu. Grab a mic from the side of the wall, gentlemen. Have a seat, have a seat. In case you weren't sure, this is Jay, that's Shota. Welcome up here, guys. Thank you. Now, we're going to get into the top 4 battles. You guys are going to help me watch and evaluate battle number 4. Right. But before we get to that, let's talk about the elephant in the room and get it out of the way, because I never want to talk about it ever again.
Okay. Oh, I want to.
Yeah, I'll bet you do. So here's what happened. Jay works professionally as a translator. I had this idea, this scheme, where I'm like, what if I wrote a joke about Jay, but then acted like I fucked up and accidentally wrote it in Japanese, which is a ridiculous concept to begin with. And then I was like, oh, so unfortunately I can't tell my closer tonight, unless, of course, there's a translator nearby. And then I was going to read it in Japanese, and you were supposed to translate it and essentially tell the joke about yourself. It was very funny to me to think you'd be standing up there talking shit about yourself. That's how it was on paper. In reality, it came out nothing like that.
Well, in reality, it should have stayed good on paper. Because the actual kind of, the concept of the joke is incredibly funny. The idea of getting me to roast myself. But do you want me to get into it?
Yeah, yes. So but just full disclosure. So when I committed to this, I reached out to a couple people out here that speak English and Japanese, and they translated it for me into Japanese, which I trusted them. Yeah. Because I can't read Japanese. It just looks like a bunch of tiny houses. Yes. So, and smiley faces. You guys have a lot of things that are just smiley faces with different, like, teardrops. Okay. But I'm doing it again, man. They hate when I'm not good at learning lessons.
No one's agreeing.
That's how it looks to me.
Yeah.
They wrote it out. I printed it out. I put it on these cards. And then I hit up my man Shota here, and I said, hey, can you record a video where you read this in Japanese? And I watched the video 1,000 times to the point where I was sure that I was saying it exactly like him. And then I did not. So I'm going to get to you in a minute. Shota, I want you to be honest with me. How was my Japanese?
It's gross.
It's gross. Okay.
Gross.
Did you think it was going to go well, or did you know all along that it was going to be bad?
No, I don't know. I don't know what you were talking about.
Well, nobody else knew what I was talking about either.
Yeah.
You were very helpful, and I want to be very clear.
Yeah.
This is not your fault.
I did that. Yeah,
I'll bet if I played Shota's recording,
Yeah.
you'd be like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense."
Yeah.
But it did not sound the same coming out of my mouth. Some people have said that my American accent was offensive to even have. I don't know what you want me to do about that. So what was going through your mind as this thing started falling apart?
Well, it takes 20 years to learn Japanese. So the fact that you said, oh, I'm going to do this thing in Japanese, I was expecting like a one-liner or something like that. And he pulls out 9 cards, each with a paragraph of Japanese on it. And he says something, and he says, I want you to interpret it. And I was like, okay, I'll do this. And he just goes, go ahead, Jay. And I'm like, what? So I had to look at the cards, and then the cards didn't match what he was saying either. So I think BJ wrote the cards.
Yeah, I'm not throwing anyone under the bus, but BJ, what the fuck, dude? I feel betrayed. No, something got lost in translation for sure, and I knew almost instantaneously that it was doomed. And there's something to writing something that long and knowing immediately that it's destined for failure and being like, I just have to buckle up and do this. And from my perspective, I came in, I was like, my Japanese will be terrible, but it'll be funny that it's terrible. Right. See, well, that's what I want to ask both of you guys about, because I was like, if I come in and my Japanese is terrible, everybody will be like, well, he tried something. He tried to assimilate to our culture. I thought I would be carried out of here on people's shoulders like a hero, and instead people were really like offended and upset. Did it upset you?
Yes.
You know I tried really hard, right?
Yeah. No, so you know my feel right now, right?
Yeah, well, but that's the thing. So you've been on the podcast before. You're a tremendous battler. You had a great battle this weekend against James Regal, who we're going to talk to in a little bit. And how long have you been speaking English?
Like 2 years.
2 years. So you're new to speaking English, and you have these great jokes, but sometimes, it takes a little bit to get the pronunciation and everything right. And the American crowds are like, that's great. He's trying up there. But the Japanese people, or more specifically, the white people in Japan, they're the worst. They hate it. They hated my guts.
It wasn't just the white people, man. I had people watching on the stream who are Japanese go, what the fuck was that?
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm never going to attempt anything fun or cool ever again.
Thank God.
I get From now on, it's just 5 pedophile jokes, and we'll call it a day. We'll go home. How did you feel about the battle otherwise?
It's difficult to remember anything else, but but no, I thought because for me, like Pat came out really hard, and I wasn't expecting him to go that hard, so that put me on the back foot for the whole battle, and I thought Pat was like, it was relatively close, people were saying, but in my mind, Pat was like a clear winner. And then he started this Japanese joke.
Yeah, we don't have to revisit that one. We've moved on from that one. We're only talking about the good shit now. It was a very fun battle. I appreciate you doing it. It's been an honor to come here and roast one of the best battlers on earth, and I mean that. And it's so funny to hear. I always enjoy hearing what somebody else has to say about me, and I won't spoil it because I think it'll be on the podcast eventually. But the clang joke.
Thanks, man.
I'm really looking forward to that one. You saw the whole battle before the Japanese.
Yeah.
I was doing good, right?
Yeah, good, very good.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to take Shota's word for it. I was doing well, and my prediction, and I could be dead wrong, when it airs, people who don't speak Japanese, they're gonna be like, he sounded fucking great.
People who don't know how terrible it was, will be like, that was great.
Yeah, and that's the best I can hope for.
But as a concept, like genuinely, I mean, okay, it didn't work out, but as a concept, it's an incredibly brave thing to do that, and you've got to kind of go for these big swings sometimes, just because like sometimes it's just worth that risk. So the fact that you actually were bold enough to kind of do a move like that, I think is like fucking worth a round of applause. So genuinely.
Well, it only took 5 minutes of fishing for a compliment before I got one. I appreciate it. Shota, real quick, you battled James Regal. This was your first roast fest.
Yes.
What did you think of the experience? Was it? How did you enjoy it?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to translate the question? This is your job, from what I've been told.
What was the question? なんか今回が初めて ローストフェストが。で、なんかまあ心境はどうでしたか？
Couldn't have said it better myself.
I got it. Yes.
Still yes. We're going to watch the number 4 battle right now. You guys stick around and watch this battle. You're going to tell me what you think. I'm going to you first because I really want to know what you think about this. It's the number 4 battle this week. It comes to us from New York, the presumptive Eastern Division champion in America. And there's a lot of question who is going to represent New York if and when they do make the playoffs. And this woman's name is definitely in that conversation. It's on the short list. This is, I believe, her 6th appearance of the season. She's had a hell of a year. This is Malia Simon going up against Luke Davis. It's number 4 this week. Here it is.
Guys, give it up for the only woman in the world who still likes James Pontillo.
That's very inside, but great.
Malia looks like when you learn about a beautiful woman in history, and then you see a picture of her, and you're like, oh, I guess for the time, I don't know.
All right. Let's make this quick. I know Luke has to get back to daydreaming while bagging someone's groceries. I don't know if you've noticed, Luke has kind of like a boy next door thing going on. And by that I mean he's kind of attractive and a pussy.
You kind of have like a girl in the basement thing. Malia always insists that she's not autistic, which is exactly what a retarded guy would say. Shut the fuck up, bitch. You are 2 strikes. You're 1 word out of here. Are you in the army? Because I wish someone would shoot you in the head. I thought of that one 2 hours ago. 2 hours I've been waiting to say this shit. Shut up. Shut up.
This show's about you, by the way. Luke told me that the town he grew up in is racist. It's sad to think that there's people out there who think the master race is this. Just somebody who looks like they've whimpered recently.
Malia is so autistic.
How autistic is she?
Malia is so autistic, she has a pair of glasses that say, hey, my tits are down here. They're not, but just pretend for the...
Luke spent 10 years in Catholic school, which explains a lot. Mostly his resting, I just got molested by a priest face. When Luke showed up on the first day of Catholic school, they were like, did somebody already do this one, or what? Thanks.
Malia grew up on a farm, and she was raised by psychiatrists. What the fuck kind of farm was that? What'd you guys grow out there, Zoloft?
Luke, if you're here, who's just brutalizing a thing of deodorant that's been done for weeks already? You seem like you got here by pogo stick or something.
Malia, when she was younger, she thought she was in love with her female best friend. Then she pursued the relationship, and she realized not only were they not in love, she wasn't even attracted to women at all. I just love that you got one friend, and you were like, so this is love. One person in the world was nice to you, and you're like, well, I guess I'm gay.
Don't get any ideas now. Luke told me his biggest insecurity is his cankles. Yeah, that's why nobody's fucking you.
It was short season, come on.
All right. Malia Simon versus Luke Davis, the number 4 battle of the week. Shota, thoughts?
It was so cool. Because their clothes clothes was so simple. So yeah, I thought it was a new Uniqlo commercial. Yeah, it's great.
What did he say? What commercial?
Uniqlo.
Oh,
I can't believe I'm up here to translate his English.
Yep.
Not as Japanese.
No. That's but you thought it was a good battle. Who did you think won?
White one.
Shota Saimu, everybody, give it up for him. Malia has been one of our most prolific scorers this week, but funny, we didn't watch 6 and 5 here in the studio, but Shalaka Kurup usually comes in higher than 6. You battled her, she's great. Ryan Cullen usually comes in better in 5th. Felt like this was a little underwhelming performance for Malia. We're getting towards the end of the season, a lot of battles. Do you start feeling pressure as you get towards the end of the season? You have a big battle coming up?
It's not so much about if there's a big battle coming up. It's more like what else is going on around. But it depends, because in Tokyo it's a bit different because we only have once a month. And then sometimes you have to skip a month to give someone else a chance.
Yeah.
So for us, it's actually not too bad overall, but it just depends on what's going on work, what are the shows you're doing. The good thing about Japan is that you get more opportunities to get stage time. The bad thing is that you get more opportunities to do stage time. So you're on stage more, and then you get less time to kind of practice and do your stuff.
Yeah, it is amazing how many shows and mics you guys run here at the Tokyo Comedy Bar.
Crazy.
It is when I see the schedule, I'm like, for the pool of comedians, you got to understand in LA and New York and Austin and all these cities, there are thousands of comedians and like 4 good shows. Right, and then everybody's fighting for those. Here, you guys have a much smaller talent pool, especially I would imagine, English speaking, and it's so many opportunities to get good stage time because of this place.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll be doing a solo show next week, for example. So, but I mean, I think realistically, if I was doing this in New York or LA, I would not be getting a solo show, man. So I mean, like, I've got to think about that as well. So that was it's getting towards the end of the season, but that was the main thing that was stressing me out when I was gonna battle you.
That makes sense. So what did you think of the battle? What were your takeaways?
Oh, I thought like particularly guy on the right was like very charming and kind of one thing that I love about seeing battlers. Okay, it is a joke writing competition, but you got to perform them well, and he performed them with this kind of little edge of charm and kind of little. Like when he added the word thing onto the end of one of his jokes, and anyone else who did that, it would probably sound a bit weird, but it just kind of made him seem more charming.
Yeah.
Even though he's calling her like autistic and like, he's got no tits and this kind of stuff. But I was like, oh, he seems lovely. Whereas I felt that, as you said, it felt like she was still great, but like just a little bit of momentum.
Yeah.
It kind of was a little bit slow. Like for the first joke, I think she checked her notes on the punchline, and it's still a great joke, but this is a little bit distracting.
Yeah. I will say the thing she does better than almost anybody in the league, and we talked about it at the writing seminar today. I gave her credit for a joke she had in a previous battle, but when she really nails something sort of esoteric, and when she said, if you're here, then who's brutalizing a thing of deodorant that's been done for weeks?
So
I've been guilty of that, to where you're just rubbing plastic on your armpits. So as someone who's done that, I'm like, I didn't realize that was a thing that anybody else observed, let alone would talk about in a battle. So I love that one.
Yeah, I think you mentioned in the writing thing about some people are good at just kind of capturing a vibe of someone. It's not like, oh, they're fat and therefore this, they're bald, therefore this. They can't speak Japanese, therefore this.
Yeah.
It's nothing like that. It's it's just kind of, there's just a vibe about a person. And when someone in the room can kind of articulate that for you in an interesting way, and you're just like, oh, yeah. And for a guy who's pretty good looking, he's a pretty, I wish I looked like that, rather than this. And I think it can be quite difficult to go against the kind of good look. It's like, what angle do I do? But to kind of say he's brutalizing a deodorant, and then everyone being like, oh yeah, he does look like that. It's great.
Yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. Good battle to kick us off this week. I want to thank both of you guys. This has been great. Shota, thank you for your help. I'm sorry I dishonored you and didn't do it right, but I appreciate your help.
Yeah.
You're one of my favorite up-and-coming battlers in the league, and I really appreciate you. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And Jay Yamaki, thank you for the honor of doing battle yesterday. You are a worthy Tokyo champ, and I'm a big fan of your work. So it was
right
great.
back at you, man.
And I just want to say one more thing. Arigato. I nailed it. I nailed it. Get the fuck off the stage. Get out of here. My Japanese is fantastic. One more time for Shota Saimu and Jay Yamaki. We're going to keep the show moving right now and get to the top 3 battles. And for the next one, before we get into it, I want to bring in someone to talk a little bit about Roast Fest and their experience running another city, Barcelona. James Regal, the reigning, not MVP. You lost last season. Get up here, James. Come on, get up here. I don't know why I'm doing this when you're off stage. Have a seat. Thank you for joining us. You're one of the best international battlers in the entire league. One of the best battlers, just generally. You run Barcelona. How do you feel about the season you guys have had so far?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Really, really proud of what we've done this year, to be honest with you. I think we got 17 points and finished bottom or second bottom of our division. This year, I think we're on track to double that point tally. We've had loads of new people coming into the scene. The people who've been doing it for a while are really stepping up. We've been on the podcast a number of times. So, yeah, we're twice a month, and we're managing to get good shows out every time, I think. So, yeah, just super proud of what everyone's managed to do over there.
Now, I actually feel like there's a lot of similarities between Barcelona and Tokyo.
Yeah.
One thing I always say about both of your cities is you have some of the best crowds in the entire league. And you got to battle in Tokyo, as I did this weekend. What did you feel the energy was when you were on stage here?
Yeah, what you said is spot on. I'm the other side of the planet, but I felt like I was at home in a weird way because the crowd was very similar. It was like a lot of people that are not from here, but they speak English, and a few locals, a room about the same size, same capacity, and the same energy of people that it's still kind of new to them. Mm-hmm. And the crowd is super enthusiastic. The comedians are all working really hard. So it was like a little Barcelona home from home. It was cool.
And to thank them, to reciprocate their hospitality, you have decided to steal their idea and do your own Roast Fest at the end of October. And I will be out there in Barcelona. I'm very excited about it. I was just told in private my opponent, I won't spoil it yet, but if you've watched the podcast, it's going to get awkward.
How's your Spanish coming along?
I'm doing the entire battle in Swahili. No one will know any better. No, so you're doing Roast Fest Barcelona.
Yeah.
From what I understand, similar concept. Tell us about that.
Well, as a Brit, it's my duty to travel the world and steal all the best bits and take it home with me. So, so we're going to have 2 nights of shows. The first night we're going to do an international night, so you're going to be battling that. A few other people from different roast battles around Europe are coming along to battle some of our locals. I'm going to be going up against Ryan from Scotland in a interdivision rivalry, so that'll be fun. And then the following day is going to be a show which will be the final of our tournament, which starts this Thursday, I think, when this comes out. So we'll have the semi-final, the final there. We're going to judge. That's going to be we do that every year in a big venue with like loads of sound and light, and it's super dramatic. It's going to be really fun.
Yeah, before you were even in the league, when you submitted for the league, you were telling me about the Comedy Purge, which you do right around Halloween, and the people in the crowd dress up and they're all fucking scary. And the package you guys put together on it, it looked like roast battle on acid. It was very troubling, and I'm excited to experience it live.
Yeah, I mean, the show, we started Comedy Purge was just the name of the show because me and Phil and Carl, who run the show, we wanted to do a roast battle show. We wanted to feel like an underground fight club, so we took this kind of old warehouse space slightly outside of the center of the city. It was a secret location till 24 hours before. We did it in the round with like cages around it, and everyone loved it, so we just kept doing that. And adding that production value, because it's the Purge. It was like for one night only, you can say whatever you want was kind of the theme. And because it got popular, and then we joined the league, we just became Roast Battle Barcelona, and we moved Comedy Purge to an annual Halloween thing where I think it fits really nicely.
Yeah, it looks like so much fun, and I really appreciate you putting me on the less fun show that weekend. So it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it because I've loved the energy in Barcelona. You guys have some really, really fun battlers. You were on the podcast last week with Denisito versus Alice Russo. It was great stuff. You also battled Shota Saimu, who was just sitting in that seat.
Yeah.
What was the most challenging thing about battling Shota this weekend?
I mean, you just met him. No, it's really hard with an opponent like Shota because I could tell, first of all, he was a bit of a local favorite, so that was quite intimidating. But then also, like, his whole delivery style, sometimes it could be like, I explain it like trying to punch smoke, you know? Because it's just like, you're not really sure, like, what's going to... I just came with jokes. I had jokes. But the way that he came at me, like, I think Keith explained it as judo. Like, he was making me roast myself by asking me questions, something that you tried and failed to do to Jay Yamaki.
Well, everyone's laughing at me until we find out the question he asked you and your answer, and then this conversation will change.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they'll see that battle. We don't have to talk about that right now. But he was amazing, and I was really grateful to come to Japan and actually get to roast a Japanese person.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really cool experience. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Well, that was awesome. I'm excited to check out the number 3 battle with you, mainly because this one is pretty different from what we usually have here on the podcast. Certainly different from anything I've ever seen in Barcelona. This comes to us from Austin, Texas. Now, Austin has some interesting battles on the season, some interesting approaches, and this one might top the list. I'm not going to waste any more time. We're going to jump right into it. It's the number 3 battle this week from Austin. It is Nick V versus Billy Swift. Here it is.
You will go first. Here we go, guys. Make some noise for these guys.
What's up, everybody? I just want you guys real quick, just give it up for Frodo's weed dealer. Yeah, Nick looks like he does tree work for the Keebler elves.
Oh, you're so funny, Billy. What a funny guy, huh? Definitely not gay. That'd be crazy, huh? Billy looks like a scoutmaster that would try to start a fire by rubbing 2 dicks together. Hold on, I almost got it. Just I almost got it started.
Thanks, Dr. Do-A-Little Meth.
Oh.
Yeah. Nick is so small, his truck nuts haven't even dropped yet.
Hey, that's funny, Billy. You don't have a car. So that's funny.
Yeah.
And what's funny about that is you either Ubered here or you got a ride, which is funny.
That's not funny, that's efficient.
Shouldn't have wrote a vehicle joke, dude. I have a Pontiac Firebird. Suck my dick, buddy.
Does it run?
It's about to.
It's about to run.
Runs better than your fucking feet, dumbass. What an idiot! You gotta walk home after this. That's crazy. Stupid. Stinky. He smells bad too. You guys can't tell.
I do not.
He smells bad. He does. He stinks. It's true.
You're doing Trump now?
What?
You're doing Trump?
No, you smell like shit. That's what I'm doing.
He smells bad. He does.
I walked in here. I said, "Wow, he smells bad again." What else does he look like, dude? What a dumbass.
Nick has a resting.
Hey, it's still my turn, dipshit.
You just get 13 jokes. It's not your fucking turn.
The fuck? Oh my god. Nick has resting resurgence face. He didn't storm the Capitol. He stormed the lowercase. Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Pretty good. Hey, that's good. Did you write that on the bus? What a loser. Hey, what a loser. Holy shit. Hey, someone throw a drink at this guy. Someone throw a drink at him. I'll pay for it. Hey, Billy, What else do you look like, dude? Hey, Billy, you look like the brawny paper towel man if he used the paper towels to wipe cum off a dude's back. That's what you look like.
Nick, you look like a gay leprechaun that goes, hey, bottom of the morning to you.
Pretty good.
Final joke, guys.
Oh, is it the last one?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh, there's so many. Just drew a picture of a penis. That's cool. Who did the horns? That's sick. This guy's gay as hell. Hey, so Billy got molested. That's pretty funny. And then after that, he started training cage fighting. Hey, Billy, what's UFC stand for? My uncle fucked me in my childhood. Imagine getting molested and Joe Rogan's like, oh shit. Oh, no way. He's taking some damage.
I can't tell what Nick is. He looks like a blue collar hipster. I can't tell if you have an 18-wheeler or a unicycle. Fucking kill me. Kill me. Pretty good. Auto parts.
All right. Are you gonna keep going, Nick?
Should I keep going?
Fuck you, Adam Lucky. Fuck you.
Does anyone have a towel to throw in?
Yeah, Billy will wipe the cum off his back.
All right, guys, get up for Nick V and Billy Swift, everybody.
I'll do it. I'll do more. I haven't seen this one yet. I had heard about it, and holy shit, that was There were not many actual pre-written roast jokes there. That was just someone being bullied. That felt like a hate crime of sorts. That's the kind of shit that if those guys were a little bit younger, like Billy would have shot up the school the next day after what happened there. What'd you think of that battle?
I was struggling to figure out which was which. I was thinking Spider-Man meme the entire time. I was thinking, I'm in Japan. I never want to hear another redneck American say Japanese look the same because those guys were fucking identical. But no, that was. I thought looked like it was gonna be a close battle. And then Nick it was that run of jokes he did about his car that were just relentless.
Yeah.
I've never seen a rebuttal go on for so long, and you just saw like Billy's face just looking more and more crushed, and he never interjected, and it was just supreme shit talking. Like Americans are the best at that. Like,
yeah,
you guys know how to do it.
My favorite part was how he did 12 straight rebuttals. And then when the other guy finally tried to go, he's like, "It's still my turn, dipshit." Like I haven't done a joke yet. Like he's been going for 5 minutes. I thought it was incredible. I know the Austin battles can be really hit or miss. A lot of people have different feelings on them. My co-host Brian Moses a lot of times will say they're very like buzzword heavy, and it's not as dependent upon jokes. I'm a writer. That's my thing. That's what I love. But sometimes stuff like this is so undeniably funny. You just got to give it up for it. That's how I felt about this.
Yeah, I mean, I spent some time in Austin a couple of years ago and just going and doing like the open mic scene there, which was brutal, by the way, but amazing. And yeah, they're just amazing at talking shit to each other. They do it all the time, and it's like a second skin for them to just do that.
Yeah.
And you saw that there, and then even like he finally got another joke out, and he went, "Did you write that on the bus?"
And I
they
think
they should have ended it there. He was dead. He was dead already.
Yeah. We were laughing over it, but there was definitely it sounded like a couple times where Billy told his joke and it kind of missed, and Nick was just like, "Pretty good. That's a pretty good joke." I want you to take that style back to Barcelona. I want you guys to become the bullying capital of our international division.
We'll do our best. Yeah, we can try.
So you got a few more weeks left in the season. We're gonna wrap it up with Roast Fest. I'm excited to be out there. Make the pitch for Roast Fest right now. Tell people if they're in or near the Barcelona area why they should come out.
Well, yeah, if you're going to be in Barcelona, or even if you're not, fly over if you're in Europe watching this. Like, it's not that expensive that time of year. You're just going to see some of the best battlers in the world in one place, and some of the international guys are going to come over as well and give it a try. that was a joke. No, it's kind of. No, I know what it feels to bomb on this stage now. Yeah, and then we're gonna try and do some extra stuff beyond the 2 shows. That we're working on some exciting things. So yeah, just come and check it out. It's we got a fun scene. Yeah, I think that's all I want to say, really. Just, yeah, Barcelona Roast Fest, come along, please.
Amazing. It has been so fun. You've been our Airbnb partner this entire week. It's been great hanging out with you, getting to know you. Excited to come out there, excited to do it. Congratulations on the season Barcelona has had.
Thank you. Thanks for not leaving any hair in the shower as well. That was nice of you.
Yep, I got to keep every last piece that I have at this point. I can't afford to give any of it up. James Regal, guys, give it up for him one time. We're going to jump into the top 2 battles here, and in order to talk about the number 2 battle, I have to bring up a good friend of mine, someone, a roast battle legend. In my opinion, the GOAT. We have had wars going back years. He's one of my best friends. He's a legend in this. Give it up for Keith Carey.
I have to mention this because I've been thinking it the whole time. Literally, I've been talking to Pat for weeks about doing this, and he was like, I wrote this thing where I'm going to close in Japanese, and it's going to fucking blow that island's mind. And I was so mad because I wanted to do that, and I was like, this bitch stole the greatest idea a white man ever had. And it was very nice to watch you fall on that sword, so thank you.
It was my pleasure. There's always next year. You could come and run it back next year.
Oh, I'm good, dog. I'm fucking good, man. Learning other cultures sucks. I'm not ever trying again.
Now, speaking of culture, it's your first time in Tokyo.
It is.
You've been here about a week now. You did a whole bunch of shit. Before I got in, you were doing the Tokyo Disneyland thing. And then I got in. This has been a very different trip for me because last year my wife was out here. Paige Wesley was out here, who is not a big partier or whatever. We did a lot of culture type of shit.
Paige Wesley's a big anything she does, to be fair.
Shout
that was the weirdest shit I've ever heard.
Shout out to Paige. She's amazing. But our days were filled with really productive type of things. We went to shrines and temples and all that. This year it's been you and Kim Congdon, and we have been on some absolute degenerate nonsense, just blacking out every night. It's been a completely different trip, but I have really enjoyed it. How have you enjoyed Tokyo thus far?
I've enjoyed it a lot. My favorite is there's been a couple times where I've showed up to the party late and been like, why is Pat making that face? And it's like, well, he drank a bunch of tequila with a snake in it, and now he's asking everybody in the bar if they know who the Beatles are.
Most of them do.
No, it's been great though. It's been a fucking ripper. It's where I'm not usually a late night party person, but being here, I have Tokyo Night Madness.
Yes.
I get in the streets after the show and I'm like, I want to eat a squid and fight a cop. I'm ready to go.
Same. I haven't had more than a single beer in a night in LA in I don't know 2 years. I'm just beyond that point. I'm 41. I have a kid, and then you fucking fly me to another country, and I feel like I'm 22 again. It has been a nightmare. I can't keep doing this. It's been very, very bad for me. But it's been an amazing experience. You got to battle in Tokyo for the first time. You did stand-up. You crushed the stand-up. You crushed the battle. What are your thoughts on the comedy scene out here?
Truly, I had no idea what to expect when I got out here, and I've been blown away by everybody. The first night we judged battle before we were fighting the second night. And look, it's not like I came in oh, we're going to fuck everyone up. But there's a certain confidence I have because I've done this a million times. And then I saw how good the Tokyo battlers were. And I think we all went back to the B&B and started to get a little scared.
Oh, there was...
I had to do another writing run. I was like, I'm going to get my shit rocked if I don't really come prepared.
Full-fledged panic the morning of the battle. We were all sitting around oh no, what have we gotten ourselves into?
Well, I fought Mike Paxman, who... fucking great, but there's not a ton of game tape on it. I hadn't seen much of the battle, so I knew what Jay was gonna do. I knew what Troy was capable of. I did not know what I was walking into.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see that battle on the podcast. I'm sure it'll be on there very soon because you guys had a back and forth, a classic. I have seen a few Mike Paxman battles. I think he's great, but I think it was thus far a career performance for him, and he was outstanding.
It's weird to pretend he's not just sitting right there.
I know.
Yeah.
Give it up for Mike Paxman, everybody. I don't know why I did that. I got halfway through and I was like, I can't bail now and acknowledge him.
Yeah.
I think I feel bad because I left him in the audience instead of bringing him up here. But Mike was unbelievable. The battles were unbelievable. Troy Lewis versus Kim Congdon. It amazes me how she can just step away from battling for 2 years, then come back in like she didn't miss a beat.
You forget how magical she was back in like her prime. It was cool to see it again.
Yeah, prime Kim Congdon was hard to beat. And you guys both in the initial Hall of Flame class, of course. That's why you're here.
The most prestigious of awards.
But that's the thing.
Thanks for making sure the word flamer is on a bunch of flyers I'm on.
Well, if anyone deserves that credit.
Yeah, next to the Academy of Being a Fag. Like.
But here's the thing. All the things that we shit on in the States, like, oh, I'm in the Hall of Flame. Oh, I'm the commissioner. Oh, this is all lame. You come out here and they actually respect it. It's weird.
Well, yeah, they're dumb here, but like. No, it matters to me, too. I have to pretend it doesn't.
No, I understand.
This is all false modesty. I'm much better than all of you. But.
We got a couple days left here in Tokyo. We're going to go to a ball game tomorrow. I'm excited about that. Is there anything else you want to do before you get out of town?
Oh, fuck. More snake tequila.
Yes.
Would be my guess.
Are you guys familiar with the snake shots? So there's a bar. This was our second night here. And we went to this bar. And I woke up the next morning at 11 o'clock. And I was embarrassed that I slept in so late. And then I found out I went to bed at 5. And I was like, oh, I got up pretty early. And apparently there is tequila that is infused with a snake. They brew the tequila in a thing with I guess, dead snake.
It's dead by the end of it.
Right, exactly. And you guys were like, yeah, you did 6 of those shots. I have no recollection
Audible
of any
gasp
of that.
from the corner.
Yeah. I'm down. Round 2.
I've known you for like 10 years, and you're very much like, I'm only going to eat chicken nuggets. Like, you were the least adventurous eater. I leave you alone for 2 hours, and you drank a reptile. So, I love Tokyo Pat so much.
Yeah, it can only be for a week out of every year, and I'm looking forward to hopefully coming back and doing it again next year. Roast Fest has been outstanding. Let's jump into the number 2 battle this week, and I wanted you to evaluate this one because this comes to us from L.A., from the Belly Room, the place where we both came up, had classic battles, and eventually we didn't know we were building our way to coming to Tokyo to do this.
It's so stupid.
I know, it's ridiculous. And that could be the future for at least one of these people. It's the number 2 battle this week. Now, this is an interesting one. Angie Stroud is one of the up-and-coming stars of L.A., the current undercard champion. She is a killer. And then Jason Ellis is a kind of comedian / former skateboarder / Australian weirdo. Is that accurate?
That tracks. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're friends. They do a couple shows together, and they said, hey, we want to battle. And I said, this seems like a mismatch, but let's see what happens. We'll let you guys judge. It's the number 2 battle this week. It's Angie Stroud versus Jason Ellis from L.A. Here it is.
USA.
Let's roll! Right, so. Hey, fuck everybody, okay? Man, you haven't even started. So you're probably going to talk shit on me for being old. So I am old. I'm old enough to be your father.
Uh-huh.
But I know I'm not your father because I never fucked Weird Al Yankovic.
Okay. There we go.
Can I leave now?
Good job, Jason. Great job.
It's one.
You're doing it, Jason. Skate legend Jason Ellis, everyone. So cool. What is it like to have Tony Hawk answer your text sometimes? That's crazy. Okay, but actually, this is a real fact. You can play as Jason on Tony Hawk Pro Skater. If you press X, he goes like, "That's me friend up there." And if you press Y, he actually stands in Tony's shadow.
That's pretty good. It's true. I do work with a legend. As close as you get to legends is trying to get eye contact in the parking lot.
Uh-huh.
But if you notice everybody that Angie kind of looks like Carrot Top in blackface, but like Carrot Top has bigger tits and a more successful career.
Yeah, Jason, you got through that.
Isn't that obvious?
Okay.
I'm so relaxed. What are you talking about? It's cool, man. Has anyone got a water? I'm getting cotton out. I was not perched until I got quickly.
Okay.
I'm cool, relax.
Jason is bisexual.
Really?
Yeah, really. Jason's dick is like a boomerang in that he throws it to anybody, but it always ends up back in his hand. Get the notes. Yeah, get the notes.
That was nice. Nice work.
Do you need your readers, Jason?
I can't read, so fuck you. So yeah, good one. Yeah, I'm bi, but you're a fucking lesbian. Thank you. Right? Thank you. No, I'm not done. Wait. That was just a start. Yeah, you're a lesbian that enjoys indoor rock climbing, which means you enjoy climbing fake rocks, and you also want to fuck a chick with a fake dick, but you catch a real bus to work, and your last real boyfriend really cheated on you.
Yeah. Complete sentences, everyone. Yeah, Jason is gay and illiterate. I'm not done. He's gay and illiterate, so it's only natural that Jason writes with AIDS. Oh, for AIDS.
Okay, that's fucked up. I feel like going off script for that one. That was not fair at all.
Okay.
With your lesbian bullshit, I know that you've only eaten one pussy, right?
Yeah.
Right, so...
I'm comfortable with that.
I'm just saying, I'm a better gay than you.
I love this. This is like a conversation. This is like a
Wait,
discussion.
you're not supposed to have conversations?
No.
Wait a minute.
Just
Look, I'm sorry, I've got CTE, but you've got EBT.
Yeah. Sound it out.
Okay, here we go. Why do you hold the microphone so close to your chin?
Now we're getting meta.
Is it to cover the rug burn from Pauly Shore's nutsack?
Oh.
Did you know that Angie she's fucked so many comics that her gynecologist, shut up, her gynecologist gave her pussy the light? Did you understand that?
Yeah. Okay, we're only on 4, just so everyone knows.
I thought it was over.
No, there's 2 more.
Uh-oh.
There's 2 more. Jason is recently divorced. His ex-wife took him to kangaroo court. Jason was sticking his Joey in other pouches.
Nice one, Angie. You're all hot. You got the eye of the tiger. You've also got the face of a pig. You kind of look like one of them Bratz dolls that's been left out in the sun too long.
Yeah. Very nice. I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with Jason's stand-up. He barely is. But Jason likes to tell a story about how he blew a trans woman. He really actually does like shrimp on the Barbie.
An audible groan from the live Tokyo crowd at the shrimp on the Barbie joke. That was the number 2 battle this week. Shades of Austin, where there was bullying going on. I kind of felt bad for Jason. So here's a guy, and you've written for countless celebrities at these roasts and things like that. They're not, and I know he does stand up, but roasting is its own beast. It's really, really difficult. I thought he did a good job of hanging in there and at least making the battle entertaining. What did you think?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like that was a dick whipping. Like we all know what it was, but he was never like unfun to watch. He was good at. Don't make me watch it again. But he was. He was good at. I love that he bombed the concept of being silent for a second at the beginning. He just immediately was like, "Oh shit! Oh fuck!" No, I mean, yeah. Look, it is hard when somebody steps in and tries to do it that doesn't quite have the understanding of the difference between stand-up and roasting and stuff. But he rolled with it. I usually don't love watching a one-sided fight, but both of the ones we've seen tonight that have been just absolute ass-kickings have been great to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I always think that the more competitive battles are certainly better, and that will be the case with our number one battle, which we'll get to here in a minute. But the as far as ass kickings go, I think you need both parties to be at least entertaining, and that's kind of what we got out of Jason. Angie is one of the better joke writers in the Belly Room coming up. I think her record is like 9-1 at this point. She hasn't lost in like over 2 years. I feel like she's great. I know we were both really heavily involved in roast battle back mainly pre-pandemic. I feel like you have been getting reacclimated to like the concept of the league. Are there any people that you've seen recently that you didn't know from before that have really stood out to you in LA?
In LA specifically?
I mean, you could tell me anywhere. Like
okay, because like, a lot of the LA people are people I kind of knew from before. So like a Julian Fernandez, a Paige Wesley, like all these people who are like the heavy hitters were kind of on the way up when I kind of stopped doing roast battle as much. Seeing the people from the other scenes that have come up, like Jay Yamaki, I think is great. I kind of just got familiar with him recently. Yep. Shalaka.
Yes.
I want to fight Shalaka.
Oh my God.
I'll go to wherever, but hopefully somewhere good and not London. And I will fight her. Just in general, it's crazy how much as much as roast battle was my life for years, coming back and being like, there is a whole fucking new swarm of people who are great, and all this shit for me to go back and catch up on. So it's overwhelming, but it's cool to see that it's got this second life.
Yeah, and the second life is exciting because I think we both reached a point where you kind of face everybody you want to face in LA.
Totally, yeah. And I mean, you can only fight each other so many times. I fought Conor McSpadden 5 times, I think. I'm out of shit to say about him.
Close on, close off, all of the above.
Yeah.
You did everything. And you get to a point where you're like, I either have to take a battle that I'm not as motivated for, or I just have to kind of step away from this thing. And now you step back in, you're like, I can go to Tokyo and find brand new people who are great, like Mike Paxman, who's sitting right there, who I will absolutely acknowledge. But all these other people, you have the opportunities. You're like, well, now I want to go battle Shalaka. Now I want to go battle Ryan Cullen. I want to battle all these people. So it's really cool. I would love to see you get out and do more international stuff. Is that something that you think we might be seeing in the future?
Oh, yeah. I'll fucking go wherever. Usually before it was like, do you want to go to Sacramento? And I'm like, shit, no. But do you want to go to Japan as a much better sales job?
Yeah. By the way, the Sacramento offer is still on the table if you change your mind.
I'm busy whenever that is.
Keith Carey, ladies and gentlemen. Let him hear it. And now it is time for the number one battle this week. And when we put together a live podcast in Tokyo, we did this last year for the first time, and I believe it was the number 4 battle on the podcast. It came from night 1 of Roast Fest, and it was 2 guys named Yasushi and Hal. And they came up here, and they had a great battle, and then they did an interview on the podcast, and it was awesome. And I thought, man, it would be great if Tokyo manages to have a decent battle on that first night that they could turn around and submit. And the team worked really hard, by the way. The show ended, and they immediately started editing to send it in. And I was going in hoping that they could have a top 4 battle, something to put on the podcast. Little did I know they would have the number 1 battle of the week. And I will say this, whereas I haven't seen most of these battles before because I've been too busy to watch them all like I normally do, I saw this one. I was in the room. I'm not only going to say it's the number 1 of the week. I'm going to say it was a clear number 1 of the week. And we're about to watch it with the guys who were in it. So without further ado, please welcome to the stage from Roast Battle Tokyo, Bill Miller and Yurie Collins. Bill and
Hello,
Yurie.
hello,
Let them
hello.
hear it. Now this is a moment that is totally organic. It is not. We didn't push you guys to number one. You guys went out there on Friday night and you had an absolute banger of a battle on the first night of Roast Fest. We've seen you both on the podcast already this season. I'm going to start with you, Bill. Coming out of Friday night after the battle, what were your thoughts? How did you feel it went?
I felt it went really good. I mean, I just had a really hard time roasting her. She's very pretty. It's kind of crazy because we're almost the same age. So.
Oh my God, that can't be true.
I'm joking.
Oh.
No, like I felt really good about it. Like but there's a moment in the middle that I think people will see that kind of you scolded me on, which I still living in my head. So
I mean, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
I don't like to scold, and that was not my intention. But we'll talk about it when we watch the battle. But general thoughts before we rewatch it here. You've been on the podcast before. I saw you battle your first battle. Last year, you did night one of Roast Fest. It was your first battle. To think in a year you've come this far to where you're facing a Tokyo Roast Battle legend, one of the original champions out here. Were you intimidated to face this guy, and how did you think it went?
No, I wasn't intimidated. No, but I was really excited. So, yes, my first battle was with Shoin a year ago. And Bill coached me, like he helped me, he looked at my jokes and he was basically like, you need to start over, this is shit. Because I didn't know what I was doing, and everything Bill taught me from that first time, I still apply to every battle. So it was really cool. It felt like roasting my sensei, so that was cool.
Now, one thing that is very interesting to me is before there was a league, before every city in America and the world was like, we want to do a roast battle, and now I have to field calls from Istanbul and Boise, Idaho, and all this nonsense. Back in the day, there were only a few. There was L.A., there was New York, which did Roast Masters. There were a couple, and one of the earliest adopters was Tokyo, thanks to J.J. Walkrad, who was a big fan of roast battles, saw the vision, and was like, I want to bring this to Tokyo. And frankly, if somebody had told me we want to do the roast battle in English in Tokyo, I'd be like, that sounds like an awful idea. But you did it. You made it happen. Give it up for this guy.
Well, we saw how Japanese went, so.
Yeah, exactly. We're done talking about that, Bill. I'm trying to give you a compliment here. Now, in the early days of roast battle, were you the first ever champion?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, and I heard tales of Bill Miller for many, many years. Like, you got to see this guy. And boy, you lived up to the billing, this weekend.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I have a terrible record. I think I'm like 9-7 or something like that.
Yeah, I wasn't going to mention that.
Yeah, well, it's fine. Just everyone out there. Generally, I'm probably pretty hit or miss, so this is really rare. So I'm really enjoying it.
Did you ever think when you started doing it, because you weren't doing it in the Tokyo Comedy Bar, this place didn't exist. You were doing it in a little, I think, British bar down the street. Did you ever think that it would grow to this point, international festival level?
No. This is really amazing. I think it's really cool that we can do this. It's all thanks to JJ again. Yep. I think he's given enough credit.
Yeah, he's good.
But no, it's really amazing. And like to have legends out here like Keith Carey and Kim Congdon, Pat Barker. It's amazing. It's really awesome.
Well, I certainly appreciate you guys. And one of the things that I love about Tokyo is in the States, you'll have comics who are like, oh, I'm not doing roast battle. I'm focusing on my stand-up. Out here, everybody who does comedy battles. It feels like it's a big part of the scene out here, a big part of the community. You have Yurie Collins, who is, dare I say, famous? You're like a social media influencer, TikTok, all that shit. I'm too old to understand. We went to, after last night's battles, we went to a club that you were at, and you're up on stage like the star of the show, and then the night before you're in here roasting this guy. You certainly don't need to be doing roast battle. You're doing very fine outside of it, but it seems like you really genuinely love the sport.
Yes, I just want to clarify. It's all the fame, no fortune. I'm waiting for that to kick in. But yes, I do like roast battle. It is very stressful. Every time I'm like, oh God, like the roast is coming, the roast is coming. But I think it's great because it forces me to write new jokes and also in a very specific format. So it's like good for my brain to be really mean to somebody.
Well, it was a battle between the original Tokyo champion, somebody who was just a year in. I was blown away, and so was the ranking committee, who had this a runaway #1 this week. Without further ado, let's jump into it. Let's check it out. It's the #1 battle from right here in Tokyo. Bill Miller, Yurie, Collins. Here it is.
Beauty, beast, let's roast! All right, Yurie. This Nexium cult brand ambassador is Yurie. Like Yurie says, she has acting credits, but when I typed in Yurie Rotten Tomatoes, the only thing that popped up was a shot of her tits.
Bill's favorite comedian is Louis C.K. Bill strives to be like Louis C.K., but it's not like that, you guys. They're not the same, okay? Because the women Bill jerks off in front of don't look up to him.
Sorry about that. When Yurie got COVID, she had to buy 2 thermometers because it just didn't feel right putting something in her mouth without having something in her ass.
I can't believe a member of the Blue Balls man group is here. Really exciting. Bill is a perfect fit for Japan. He has a body like a sumo wrestler, hair like a Buddhist monk, and a beard that should be pixelated.
Thank you, Rice Spice. Yurie reminds me of a haiku because when I look at her Instagram, sometimes I think she looks like a 5. Then I see other photos, I think she looks like a 7. And then when you look at her in real life, she's a 5.
Wait, I'm sorry. Bill, if you're here, then who's reprogramming your AI sex doll to doesn't talk back?
It comes like that. That's the feature. Okay. Like Yurie has a whole show about how she's a fucking slut. Yeah, Yurie's taken so much black dick, so much BBC that the UK sent her a bill for cable TV.
Bill is a racist. And he's apolitical. A political moron. Bill is such a racist political moron that he thinks Project 2025 is a black person's address.
Another one.
That was a good one. Who wrote that? All kidding aside, I've said like Yurie's a slut. She's not a slut. She's just sex positive, but she's also Asian. That's why. That's the reason why she fucks everyone everywhere all at once.
Okay. Bill tragically lost his mother, father, and sister, all in the span of a couple of years. It's just him and his brother now. Yeah, they say comedy often comes from tragedy. So maybe when his brother dies, he'll finally be funny.
God damn it! That was
Keep it going for these guys.
Amazing battle, but we had an overtime.
Bill works in animation. He's been in the industry for over 20 years. You can tell by looking at him, because that's when he stopped motion.
Hadouken.
You know, these are always the best jokes. The last one, the one more joke. Yurie is really into a lot of causes. Like, she wants to protect the environment. She's really like into, like, you know, supporting Palestine. It's great. But she'd never set herself on fire, because you're not supposed to burn plastic. You recycle it.
A fantastic Japanese trash joke to close out the battle. Bill Miller, Yurie Collins, give it up for them one more time. It was an absolutely unbelievable battle. You guys were both on fire up there. I truly thought it was neck and neck. I thought, as I said in my judgment, you were controlling the battle early, and then I thought your last two, you kind of evened it up. And then in overtime, and as you alluded to, often in overtime, it's the leftover jokes, and it's underwhelming. And you guys both brought out really good jokes for overtime.
Thank you.
Which was a pleasant surprise. Yurie, I'm going to ask you first. As the battle was going on, or when the regulation ended, what did you think? Did you think you had won, lost, or you just weren't sure?
It felt like you said, I knew my last two jokes were probably the strongest, but I couldn't decide which jokes to use toward the end, because I had like the horrible, you know, dead family joke, but I knew that wouldn't really work if he was being funny, because the joke is about him not being funny, and he was being so funny the whole battle. So I was like, okay, I can't use this joke, but I knew I was gonna have to like end with like a banger, so I just kind of did it anyway. And you know, it worked. Yeah.
I was like, oh.
yeah. Horrible. But that's one of the things you taught me though last year. You were like, you got to be mean. So I was like, okay. So
you brought this on yourself.
Yeah. This
is all your fault. Yeah. One thing I noticed about you from watching this battle back now is when you're on stage, you're not laughing at anything she says. You are deeply in your own like world. You're focused. That's the way it comes off to me. And then here we're watching it, and you're a little bit more loose, and you're like laughing at everything.
No, I'm just old and dumb, and I can't remember my jokes. So I'm like seriously, like I tend to procrastinate. I kind of write at the last moment, and so like it's hard for me to put everything in my head.
Yeah,
exact kind of like that. And then so like I'm really in my head like. In this, so it's like I'm trying to pay attention and remember what I'm going to say next. So,
yes.
Yeah, and maybe it came off as being stoic, but I'm just retarded.
so when she's talking, you're not even hearing it. You are just.
Well, I am listening, but I'm also like I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. Like it's kind of like two things happening at once.
Sure.
Yeah,
now, the moment in the battle that we have to talk about, you said I scolded you in the judging. I realized tonight for the first time that the audience had a reaction to it as well. It wasn't just me. It wasn't just the judges. It was the moment where she hit you with the Project 2025 joke, and you accused her of having someone write it for her. Now, this is why we do the live podcast, so we can generate controversy and get clicks.
Well, I just don't think women are funny. No, I mean,
because I'm gonna be honest. That's
no. So, I'm sorry. Just to add context.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
So I like when you said that to me, I'm like, oh, that's how it was read in the room. See, I was like, you're more like you're new, you're an influencer, and so like you probably had someone write your joke. Anyhow, I came off looking like an asshole.
So do you want to double down and accuse her of having all her jokes, or you want to retract that and just say great job?
No, absolutely. I think you did an amazing job. Like I said to you, like the last two jokes, I was like taken aback because it hit so hard in the room. I'm like, fuck. Like, so you just nailed me on those. And then, like, to be honest, I'm really stupid, so I didn't even know what Project 2025 was. So, like, I was just, like, scrambling to come up with a rebuttal because it hit so hard. And that's what came out.
Yeah, no, I get that. In that moment, you're just like, I have to say something, and then that came out. I'm glad we got to the bottom of that. Now, naturally, the follow-up question, Yurie, who really wrote the joke?
I did write the jokes, I promise.
Hey!
I wrote the jokes. I was really proud of the Project 2025 one. So yeah, when he said that, I was kind of like, aw. But I told him this after. You know, I do feel like it came off as sexist, but I don't like making excuses. I think what's funny is funny. And it was funny what he said. So I was more pissed at myself for not being able to come up with something to say back. Instead, I kind of like played along and was like, "Oh yeah, you know, maybe I didn't write it." And then when I realized people were kind of maybe believing that, I was like, "Wait, no, for the record, like I did write them. Like, don't take this away from me." Like, so yeah, it is what it is.
So no bad blood. It's all love here.
Oh no, we're good. I think.
We can figure this out off air. It's totally fine. It was the #1 battle of the week. You guys have been on the podcast. I believe it's your first #1 for both of you.
Yay. Thank you.
I've been told here that the podcast is a big deal out here. You guys really take it seriously. What does it mean? I'll go to Yurie first. To have a #1 battle and have it be at Roast Fest.
I'm so excited. I watch this podcast every week, so I'm really excited to be on it. #1, so exciting. And I'm gonna send it to all my friends. And I'm really proud. I think it was an awesome night. All the battles were really cool. And yeah, I'm new to this, you know, and he's been doing it much longer, Bill. So it's not that hard, I guess.
Amazing. My instinct says close out on that, but I'm going to give you the final word. What are your thoughts? I know this means a lot to you to be #1 this week.
No, like I said, I've been a huge fan of like roasting and roast battle for a long time. So like to be a #1 on this is really awesome. It's great, and hopefully they'll start giving me some spots here when I try to do stand up.
Free Bill Miller. Give this man some spots. Justice for Bill. # Justice for Bill in the comments, everybody. The comics are frantically off screen going, no spots. No spots for Bill. It was an amazing main event in night 1 of Roast Fest. You should both be very, very proud of it. And the Tokyo scene, you guys should be proud of what you have done. And before you get out of here, I would actually like to take a look at the standings, the updated standings at this point in the season. Now, the rules are if you have the #1 battle, you get 7 points. #2, you get 6, so forth and so on down the list. This is week 28. There are 7 weeks left in the season. Let's check out where we're at. We're going to go to America first. Now, Los Angeles maintains their lead. They expand it a little bit over the Bay Area. Austin trying to catch up to the Bay for #2. In the East, New York picks up 4 more points. Atlanta picks up 1. They're still climbing out of that gutter, but they're trying to make it happen. It seems very likely it's going to be New York versus LA for a second straight year. But let's go to international, and this is where things get interesting. In the International West, it's going to be Scotland. It seems pretty clear at this point. They have a commanding lead over Barcelona and Toronto. But the East is really up for grabs at this point. Everybody thought London was going to run away with this thing. And then Manchester got out to a big lead, and everybody said, just wait, London's coming, no problem. And now here we are, and Manchester and London have both kind of hit a little bit of a wall. And I witnessed over the last couple days at least 4 or 5 battles, because you could submit anything from within 30 days. Tokyo is going to be coming for this thing. They are now 1.5 points behind London. They're on the verge of making a run. I would love, personally, to see this thing come down to the wire. And Tokyo, they've had an amazing season. Everybody here should feel really good about the battle and about the Roast Fest this weekend. So I want to thank both of you guys for joining me here and doing it. Congratulations on the great battle. That is it for RBL Weekly Live. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And we'll see you guys next week. Let's roast.